So hey guys, you might be confused about why I am pumping out a new playlist called Biology. The reason is I'm just pumping it out. Also, there is going to be a finance series. So do stay tuned because there's going to be a lot happening on the channel this year. So we're going to study about the parts of the flower for biology. So don't be horrified by this incredibly large parts of the chapter. So we have the introduction and also by the way, don't be horrified of this entire chapter. Deal? Deal. Okay. So parts of the chapter. Introduction, petals, nectary, anther, filament, part of the stamen, which is part of the androecium, stigma, style, ovary, ovules, part of the carpel, part of the gynoecium, which is a part of the gynoecium, the sepals, the stalk, and the receptacle. Okay, so we start with the introduction. Not all flowers have all of these parts. The flowers that do have all of these parts are very good at attracting insects, which we'll see in the chapter of pollination. Do stay tuned for that. There are 4 whorls, groups of parts of a flower, and they are the calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. We are going to study about all of these in detail. So the petals. So the petals are modified leaves. Kind of terrifying to say that. So anyway, petals are modified leaves that surround the reproductive parts of a flower and also help attract insects via pollination. The flowers that pollinate via insects have colorful petals that set them out of the rest. The flowers that are pollinated by other means have plain petals. Then the nectary. So the nectarines are tiny mussel-like organs of a flower that are a part of the ovary that secrete the nectar from holes at the base of the ovary, which is very important for the flowers that pollinate with insects, because that gives the insects a reason to come to the flower. So the anther. Anthers are part of the stamen that contain pollen, the most important part of pollination. I mean, you know when it's important when they literally named an entire process on tiny grains. The androecium is the male part of a flower. So then, wait, we're not here. Anthers are part of the stamen that contain pollen, the most important part of pollination. The stamen is a part of the androecium. The androecium is the male part of a flower. Some flowers only have the male part, some only the female, and some have both. What is androecium? One more than gynoecium. They are actual technical terms. We are going to get into those later. So the filament. The filament is pretty simple. It's just a rod that connects the anther to the flower. It is a part of the stamen and the androecium. What else can we say about this guy? Hopeless. The stigma. The stigma is a part of the flower that captures the pollen when it arrives via the carriers, which we are going to study about in the following video after this one. So stay tuned. It is a part of the carpel. The carpel is a part of the gynoecium. The gynoecium is a female part of the flower. What is gynoecium? One more than androecium. Get it? Leave it. Style. So the style is a pretty simple part of the flower. It's a tube-like structure like the esophagus or trachea that transfers the pollen from the stigma to the ovary. It is a part of the gynoecium. Then ovary. The ovary is the outer coating that protects the ovules, the reproduction part of the flower. The ovary then becomes the fruit when the flower is ready for seed dispersal. It is a part of the gynoecium. Don't get terrified, okay? So, I want to make a deal, okay? For this part, you're not going to get terrified, okay? Seeing this? Deal? Deal, okay. So, ovules. The ovules are by far the most complex part of the flower, since they are involved in the complex process of reproduction. When the male sperm's pollen meet the female gamete's ovum, they form diploid zygotes via the process of fertilization. Fertilization can be defined as the union of two haploid gametes, the spermatozoa and the oocyte, hereto referred to as the egg, to restore the diploid state, form a zygote through the process of egg activation and commence a series of mitotic divisions that result in cell differentiation and the embryo development. This is a physicochemical process which occurs after the pollination of the carpel. The ovules later become the seeds when the flower is ready for seed dispersal. I know it might have flown over your head, but summarizing this is pretty easy. So, through the style, the pollen comes and meets the female ovums, and then boom, diploid zygote, aka the embryo, which we have studied is the small plant inside a seed. The rest of this is going to be not that important till we go higher and higher and higher in steps. So then sepals. The sepals are modified leaf-like structures that encase the developing flower. They can be green or leaf-like or composed of petal-like tissues. So this is just protection. Then we have the stalk. Finally, the stalk is a very simple part of the flower. It connects the flower to the stem a branch of a tree or a plant. A shrub or whatever. So there is receptacle. I thought this was the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. Okay. So in botany, the receptacle refers to the vegetative tissues near the end of the reproductive stems, aka this thing, that are situated below or in case the reproductive organs. This is below. That's it, receptacle. Then, thank you for watching this video and bearing with my absolutely non-laughable jokes. One more right there. So, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, if you feel that this video is very important for people, do make sure to share it. And if you enjoyed this video, do make sure to hit that like button. Then share it as I told you. Then subscribe and also hit that bell icon so that you get notified when such interesting and mammoth stuff is coming out on my channel. So on the channel actually. So because I said this year is going to be a big part of this channel, so do make sure to subscribe so that you can keep up with all of that. Thank you.